He speaks it, he walks it. He's just a great performer. I think he's on his way to a gold jacket.
It's not just Max Crosby. We saw this defensive line come alive.
The Raiders linebacker law firm of Landon Roberts, Devin White, and Jamal Adams may be the most positive unit in all of the NFL.
Welcome to Raiders Roundtable, presented by America West Credit Union. I'm JT. Hall of Famer Eric Allen, and the Raiders lose another heartbreaker, 30-29, on a two-point conversion that could have came through.
Yeah.
There was a missed extra point. There was a 68-yard field goal by the Jaguars. The game had absolutely everything, a very emotional loss.
Without a doubt. I thought defensively, early on, did a pretty good job. But this play here, you see, he's right there. He's wide open.
Oh.
He's wide open. Just the timing of that play, not in our favor. And just so kind of depressing. All the fan base was there, and the crowd was great, had opportunity to get it done.
I've never seen a time of possession like that, almost 43 minutes. Now, there was an extra 10 minutes in overtime.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like the Jaguars' drives were incredibly long. If you would have told us before the game, and we do the pregame show, so it's us, that Trevor Lawrence wouldn't throw a touchdown and at the end wouldn't have one, I'd say Raiders going to win this by at least a touchdown here. But Trevor Lawrence had a sneak and another rushing touchdown and just wearing out the Raider defense. As a Hall of Fame defender, you've been on the field for a long time.
Yeah.
What is it like for a unit to be out on the field for over 42 minutes?
It is very difficult, very tough, because they have you kind of, they're dictating to you. They're running the football effectively. They require you to tackle on the edge. They're taking advantage of the opportunities that are given them by the defensive coordinator. Obviously, when you're in those type of situations, and we'll talk about it later on today, but first down is critical, obviously, but second down is that down you can really set yourself up for success for this football team. So as a defensive coordinator, what you're thinking is, we got to get him in third and long, so now we can utilize Max, we can utilize Kuntz and all those great pass rushers. But time and time again, the Jacksonville Jaguars were able to get in third and short, and that was really the bulk of the day for most part in the defense.
I know you were really disappointed with the yards after contact, 143. Man. It was over 200 if you add in special teams. What happened with the tackling and the inability to wrap?
Well, you have to know that their running back has a great contact balance, and he's a lower kind of guy on the ground, sort of like Ashton Genty. And you know how hard Ashton runs. ATN does an amazing job of really bouncing off guys, but it really is about the style of tackling, and that's kind of what you get to. It's fundamentals. You got to wrap. It's not all about the big hits, and I know those things are exciting and the punch-outs, but before you can start punching out the ball, you got to secure the tackle, and that was the one thing that I continue to see yesterday. And plus, when the team has the ball for 20, 30 minutes more than you wear down, and that's what happens. You wear down, and this football team has been able to make plays after contact, which the Jacksonville Jaguars did a great job yesterday.
All right, here's Max Crosby immediately following the game in the locker room.
Max, you made a tweet kind of professing your love to the Raider Nation after the game. Just why is it so important for you to share your love for the fans after a game like this?
I mean, personally, I just have a special connection, with the fan base. I've been here for 7 years now, and it's just, they've been through it just like I've been through it, and a lot of people, have been here for the long haul. AJ, Colton, Daniel, we pour everything into this, and because you want, just the kid in me. Being a fan, growing up, it's all I cared about. It's all my whole life. Watched every single game on Sundays and made my dad drive me to Buffalo Wild Wings every Sunday to watch the games, and legitimately screaming, forcing him to take me to go to watch the games. But I know everybody takes, everyone puts their time and effort to come and watch us play and spend their hard-earned money to get tickets to come and watch us play and take every Sunday to watch us, perform and falling short. Time and time again is just, I feel for him, and it sucks because I'm gonna just continue giving everything I got until I can't anymore, and whenever that day is, we'll see. But I just feel for him. You know what I mean? It sucks.
You can tell Max is hurting there. If you look here, that is the tweet, and he's talking about his heart and soul. I will say this about Max: the greatest defenders who have ever played for this organization all played before social media. right? So you think of the legends who played, Ted Hendricks, Phil Villapiano. We lost George Atkinson, Jack Tatum. They couldn't go to the locker room after a loss and get on their phone and put out a tweet, right? So Max understands this fan base. I see him interact with them. His foundation, you know that Max is totally invested in every game, but most importantly, he's invested with this fan base.
Without a doubt. And everything that he is and everything that we look at him for, he shows it to us every time he steps on the football field. And no disrespect to anyone else, but I wish that he was the kind of guy that lined up with us against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. I wish he was on the field with us when we played New England back in the day. Because he is that type of football player that could change the dynamics of a football game when the teams are even. And that's kind of what you sense right now with Max. He is really, really hurting right now. He wants to be great. He wants his football team to be great, and we can kind of see it over his face right now.
That's a high compliment from a Gold Jacket Hall of Famer. When we come back, the great Lincoln Kennedy, but also Paul Gutierrez from Raiders.com on how he saw the game, and you can find all of his work at Raiders.com.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Let's see. String cheese. Ooh, soda.
Surprise! You have a brother.
Hi. Whoa. Why didn't you tell me before?
Well, we just got him.
For opening a new account at America First Credit Union.
Which, surprise number 2, you're moving out and living at America First.
Huh?
Get your money working. For a limited time, new members get a cash bonus when they open a checking account.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The Ford F-150. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Now get 3.9% financing for 72 months, plus $2,750 cash on F-150, only at your Southern Nevada Ford dealers.
This is not a blue moon. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. A Valencia orange makes a blue moon, and everything a little brighter.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. I'm Paul Gutierrez here with my 3 takeaways from Sunday's overtime loss to the Jaguars. Number 1, as painful as this loss was, there were some positives, just not enough. Yes, I know, believe me, I know the NFL is a results-oriented business that smirks at the notion of moral victories. And for good reason. But hear me out here. With as bad as the Raiders looked in their previous outing, that pre-bye 31-0 loss at Kansas City, there were silver linings to be found aplenty in this black cloud. Quarterback Geno Smith, well, he threw 4 touchdowns, and he had a passer rating of 117.9. Ashton Jeanty, he had almost 90 total yards from scrimmage. Max Crosby added a sack, and even Isaiah Polamau, he had an end-zone interception. And the Raiders, even with all those self-induced paper cuts, they were still in position to win this game. And at the end of the day, that's really all you can ask for, well, besides a win. Yeah, I'm hedging a little bit here, but when the team is 2-6 and you see just a flicker of light in those eyes, that has to mean something, right? All right, number 2, a healthy Brock Bowers is the truth. Yeah, we're sticking with positives here. And yeah, I know I said this exact same thing after the tight ends tour de force in the season opening win at New England, but he's not been healthy since. So after sitting out 3 games with his knee injury, all Brock did against the Jaguars was put the rest of the NFL on notice while keeping the Raiders in contention. The reigning first-team All-Pro tight end, well, he had 12 catches on 13 targets for 127 yards and a career-best 3 touchdowns. He showed his acrobatic catching skills with that one-handed, two-cheeks-down touchdown, and he flashed his game-breaking speed on a crossing pattern score. His mere presence will make Geno Smith's job easier. And the attention he garners in double and triple teams, that's going to give others opportunities as well to open up that offense. So there's another positive for the Raiders going forward. All right, number 3, let's keep it real here a little bit. Complimentary football is the Raiders' kryptonite, and then some. Probably not since that Week 1 win at the Patriots have the Raiders played a complete complimentary game, even if all 3 phases showed up against the Jaguars, just at different times. In fact, all 3 phases abandoned the Raiders at crucial times against the Jaguars. On special teams, a missed extra point by the Raiders was followed 35 seconds later by an NFL record 68-yard field goal by Jacksonville. And you could say that was the game. Offensively, the Raiders went into sleep mode in the middle of the game, despite Ashton Jeanty picking up chunks early. And defensively, Max Crosby and company, they couldn't get off the field in the fourth quarter and overtime. In fact, the Jags scored 3 touchdowns and kicked a field goal after the game entered the fourth quarter. Complementary football means each of the 3 phases complementing each other at the same time, but in a positive manner. Well, for more on Sunday's game and how the Raiders are looking forward to a short work week with a Thursday night game in Denver, check out my column at Raiders.com.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. You in?
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
He speaks it, he walks it. He's just a great performer. I think he's on his way to a Go Jack.
It's not just Max Crosby. We saw this defensive line come alive.
The Raiders linebacker law firm of Landon Roberts, Devin White, and Jamal Adams may be the most positive unit in all of the NFL.
Welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. The great Lincoln Kennedy, our partner, joins us here every week. And Link, will start off with the positives. Brock Bowers, what a magnificent ball game. The ability to get open, circus catches, yards after the catch. What'd you see?
Well, that catch in the end zone was absolutely phenomenal. I jumped up out of my seat, and I don't really get that excited. And EA will tell you I don't get that excited for many things, but that was a damn good catch in the end zone for the touchdown. Look, Brock Bowers is a tremendous talent, and he's one of those that offers, an advantage for any offense that has a player like him. And we've seen, in the past years, EA can attest to this, we've seen tight ends really come alive. You go back to the days of the Tony Gonzalez's and Antonio Gates and more, Travis Kelce. Brock Bowers is on his way towards that. He's playing that phenomenal. But my thing is this. You cannot get so and so focused on trying to get the ball to number 89 that you forget other people, because there have been other people that have come alive in this offense in the middle of the field. We saw Michael Mayer have a good game. We've seen Trey Tucker seen parts of it. You got to keep everyone else involved. But I thought they had a very solid plan against the Jaguars in order to get Brock Bowers involved in the offense early and often.
Without a doubt. I was really surprised by the fact that they were able to get him open for so many times during the game. You talk about Brock Bowers, and obviously he's the guy who's going to be circled. I just wanted to see a little more as far as that second guy have an awesome game too. What do you think Chip Kelly's going to do in order to make that happen next week?
Well, he's got to show some confidence in this offensive line. They've gotten a little bit better over the past weeks. They're still not where I would like to see them because they still can't convert short yardage goal line situations, but they are getting a little bit better. And, one of those other playmakers is Ashton Genty. We saw a handful of carries. He's got to get more carries. You've got to put some faith and some trust in this offensive line to reinstill the positive and more importantly, reinstill confidence that your quarterback can sit back there and address the possibilities of throwing it to other receivers other than number 89 or 87 all the time.
Geno Smith, 4 touchdowns in the game. No doubt he was very accurate with the short pass. But just 31 yards, Link, on passes of 10-plus yards. There is no deep ball at all in this offense. And Geno can check down. He makes good throws, pitch and catch throws here. But the deep ball's got to come back. Where's the vertical game?
Jacksonville came in here with the attitude that we are going to play man-to-man coverage underneath. We're going to have 2 high safeties to prevent anything from going deep. But we're going to dare you to throw the ball intermediate or long. And it's not happening. Look, I thought what the Raiders did, Chip Kelly and Geno Smith did with the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially in the first half, was productive. Got the ball out of your quarterback's hands, got it downfield, got it to your playmakers, see what can happen yards after the catch. Jacksonville picked up on it. They made adjustments after halftime and came back, and that's why you saw that early interception that Geno threw, forcing the ball. You've got time where there are going to be guys who are going to fixate on those short routes and take those short routes because they're going to dare you to pass the ball. They don't feel that you have confidence in your offensive line or confidence in your down-the-field scheme. So we've seen a lot of that. You're going to see a lot more of that in Denver Thursday night.
All right, so Link, your overall grade for Chip Kelly in this offense versus the Jacksonville Jaguars yesterday?
It's a C. Still didn't get enough to get it done. There's the work that needs to be done, progress that needs to be made in order for this offense to be effective. Stats aside, EA, I am not an analytics guy. I'm an eye test guy. And yes, I can take to the camp what Geno did on paper yesterday and looking at 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Okay, I can see that. But there were still opportunities, there were plays that were missed on the football field. I think Geno needs to improve that. I think Chip Kelly needs to improve that. This whole offense needs to improve across the board.
All right, let's get to Ashton Genty, who didn't get enough touches again. That's been a theme. But I'm going to say that had everything to do with time of possession.
Yes.
If you're down 14-0 in Kansas City and getting blown out, you're not going to get Ashton Genty the ball. You can't. This game, the Jaguars had the ball the whole game. So if Ashton Genty's going to come in the game, they feed it to him on first down, they're going to have to throw it to pick up a first down. They're not going to hand off to Ashton Genty on 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 8 here with Brock Bowers on the field. So I look at these touches in this game, 13 carries, 42 yards. But here's what I'm excited about. The more I watch him as a receiver out of the backfield,
that's right,
the more impressed I am. So I don't care where his targets come from. On the ground, I want to see combined targets for Ashton Genty. Let's get that number up, Link, overall.
I wish this team was a better screen team. I wish that they could involve that in their type of offense. I wish there were more draws and opportunities like that, misdirection within this offensive scheme. Look, my thing is this, is that we sit there and say that Ashton only touched the ball so many times. There's only one football. And we have an offense that has been inept for the most of the year. Heck, you go back to the Kansas City game, he only got 3 first downs. There's not a whole lot of plays that they could touch the ball or do anything with because they have a hard time starting off ahead of the chains. They start off in the hole so many times. There's so many 2nd down and 10s, 2nd down and 12s. This offense is not capable of overcoming that on a consistent basis. We haven't seen that. So much to your point, JT and EA, yes, you'd like to get them more touches. Hell, you'd like to have more opportunities out there on the field. To get anybody more touches, whether Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Ashton Genty, whomever. You don't have enough plays to do it because you haven't had enough good first downs, long drives in order to sustain and use those weapons that you have at your availability.
Yeah, for sure. But I like what I see. You talk about those first plays that are scripted.
Yes.
He was heavily involved in those plays, so that lets me know that he was a part of the game plan. But situationally, when things happen and you don't have the ball much, things change a lot. Really happy to see that Chip has him in the passing game. I think that's really important for him to be in the passing game. Obviously, he's a really tough guy to bring down. Going forward, though, there has to be a plan to be able to either use the passing game to open up the running game or utilize maybe 3 tight ends in the running game to open up the passing game. It just seems now you can't have that balance right now because no one really respects our running game.
Well, you're absolutely right. If you come into the season saying you're going to run 12, 13 personnel, you're going to rely a lot on play action. Well, you got to have the plays up front to be able to do it. You got to be able to run the football in order for people to fear the play action. When they were able to do that in the first half, when they got production out of the run game in the first half, play action opportunities opened up on the back end, and you see how they came together. That's complementary football. But one thing this Raiders offensive line has had trouble doing all year is blocking the box, blocking the front seven. Putting Ashton Jeanty or whomever's carrying the football one-on-one with the safety or someone deep in the hole, that hasn't happened. You've had too many guys that have shot gaps, got penetration, too many defensive linemen playing on the opposite side of the field. This offensive line has got to do a better job at occupying that front seven, giving Ashton a chance the moment he touches the ball.
One more thing on Ashton, then I'll say there's 25 teams in the NFL that would want Bowers and Jeanty together. Okay, so when our fans are struggling for something positive, so are we. And if we look at what's going on in the future, there's going to be a lot of changes clearly coming up. Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty are going nowhere.
Right.
That's right.
And those are cornerstone pillars to this organization, not even near the beginning of their prime. So there's going to be a lot more to talk on that. I want to get to what's going on here with the Raiders defense allowing short yardage third down situations. And Pete Carroll said it, Link, second down's got to be better on defense here. All the third and shorts for a guy like Trevor Lawrence who ran the ball effectively when they had to, Etienne who can run the football there, the Raiders got to do a better job at that.
Yeah, there were many times they were starting off drives 2nd and 5. After having 5 yards of crack on first down, and however they came to it. And look, to me, it was the fact the Raiders' defense just got worn down. They were out there for far too long. You talked about that time of possession for the Jaguars is over 42 minutes. I don't know a defense that can withstand all that for 4 quarters and still be a factor. And EA, you know this because you play defense. What's the biggest telltale sign that your defense is worn down? When you have guys who are not wrapping up with tackles.
Yeah.
Just bouncing off of guys. People trying to lay hits, and hammers to guys, but not wrapping up. And that was what really did the Raiders in, especially on that last drive by the Jaguars, because they had so many yards after catch. So you got to do better than that. But it was just a tired football team that struggled in the end.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think we were talking about stats the other day, and, you're talking about time possession, obviously is really big. Turnover was really big. One of those hit numbers is yards after contact. And they had over 140, 150 yards after contact. And that just shows you that second down is critically important. So you have to find something in second down that you can rely on, you can trust in as a defense, either pressure or zone. Something has to happen on second down where you're putting these guys in third down situations where we can take advantage of Max in that pass rush. Without that, the defense is on the football field trying to stop 3rd and 1s when the quarterback's doing the quarterback sneak. So something has to happen on second down with our football team, and it all starts with tackling the ball carrier.
This style of defense was created to generate pressure on the passing offenses around the league. This defense was created to stop the Kansas Cities and those offenses who have effective offensive playmakers. It was not necessarily geared to stop the run. And when they do commit to stop and run, there are times they have success defensively wise. It's just overall, how do you stay ahead of the chains? How do you make yourself a factor for make it 2nd down and 8, 2nd down and 9, rather than 2nd down and 5 or 2nd down and 3? And that becomes the scenario because a lot of teams are going for it. Analytics is played in. They're going for it on 4th down. If you can't stop anybody from doing a quarterback sneak, that's what bounds is going to happen. So we saw the defense fall apart as the game progressed. Against the Jaguars, they just could not get off the field.
You've spoken to this team in person, right? With Pete Carroll, you have a lot of respect for Pete Carroll. Yeah. He is known for tackling. He's a modern-day tackling guy. He brought in the rugby style of tackling.
Right.
I think I asked you this after week 2 or 3. When you come off a game like this where you miss that many tackles, and you got a short week, and you got a day off. Like, how do you get the tackling fundamentals back before you go to Denver?
And after that, I think it was week 2, we talked a lot about that, and you talked to Pete about tackling, and that next week they had enough days to be able to practice tackling, get back down to basics. This is fundamental football. And the way to get it done is by practice. That's the only way. It's a short week this week. So those players are going to have to do it on their own this week because it's not going to really be built into the schedule. You got to take it as a personal affront to you as a football player that you have to find a way to get the ball carrier on the ground anyway. Open field tackles, that's what we're paid to do. You know, we're just not paid to cover, and the linebackers, the cornerbacks, the safeties have to find a way to gang tackle the football so we can get off the football field. Guys,
it's the same type of attitude that I've said about offensive linemen in short yards and goal line. You got to want to do it. I mean, there's only so much that you can practice. You got to want to do it. It's really disheartening when you get a first down on the goal and you cannot score. You become that predictable. You hit your head against the line of scrimmage on the first down run. Now I know on second down, I know you got to pass. I know you're not going to go to run. You got to pass, and I know you're limited to do. Where is Brock Bowers? Let me double him. Let me find somebody else that's going to be a key. It comes up to the players. Coaches put them in the right position, but players going out there and executing. That's what has to happen.
Thank you, Lincoln. We'll see you later on in the week on a short week. Thank you. There he is, the great Lincoln Kennedy, dropping knowledge.
Oh, man, it's just so great.
Oh, it's with Lincoln, it's about grit and being tough.
Yeah.
Lincoln judges teams and games by how tough you are and how you do the little things, because he was able to do that.
Personal accountability.
Yeah, accountability. When we come back, we'll whip around the AFC West. A lot of teams doing very well as the Raiders get set to go to Denver and take on the Broncos.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. You in?
And a blue moon.
Wow, that is a delicious looking orange slice.
Thank you. That's actually my son's slice. Proud of you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sorry, this is a slice of your son?
Look, it's an honor to be chosen for a blue moon.
Well, if it's an honor.
Yeah.
No! Just kidding.
That was a really good one.
The larger one is the dad.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back, everyone. We always take a look around the AFC West. It seems like the other teams are doing the little things, complimentary football to win games.
They find ways.
They're finding ways, especially the Denver Broncos, who the Raiders travel to and play on Thursday. They're on top of the division at 7-2. They've had a bizarre year. I mean, their losses were crazy. Their wins, they're always in these tight games, and we got to make sure we're in a tight game with them on Thursday.
For sure. I've turned the television off twice with the Broncos, thinking that they lost, and get the reports and the results back later on, saying that they've won the football game. That's very impressive. They're 7-2 right now. Obviously, they have a young quarterback who's making plays with his legs. Defensively, they're a pretty good football team, although they're not going to have their number one corner. And so Brock should have a huge day, and that should hopefully open things up for everyone else. The Broncos are a football team that over the past 5 to 7 years, we dominated the Broncos.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they're kind of back on track. So we're going to have to make sure we go up to Mile High City and come back with some physical presence and hopefully get a win.
That 2-point conversion would have hit for us.
Oh, it
would have been huge going into this game. This game is still a division rivalry here, but if you look at the rest of the Raiders' schedule and what we have coming up here, the Monday night game is looming. That's going to come, and again, Thursday, that's a bye week. You play on Thursday, and you don't play even on the following Sunday. You play on Monday for the Cowboys, and Cleveland is at home, and then the Chargers on the road here. Again, I think that the Raiders will be competitive in all these games.
All 4 of those games.
Yeah.
You have to look at yourself. Since we just left this game, offensively, looking pretty good. And, of course, you have you're pretty healthy. That's what's important. Going into these next 4 games, healthy, being able to utilize your best players, and you got to tackle on defense and find a way to get teams in 3rd and long so we can really utilize our pass rush.
Let me tell you what I'm looking at for this game. We saw what happened at the Commanders, at Indy, and at Kansas City. Those were 3 bad losses.
Yeah.
There cannot be one here.
No.
Go win the game and show this fan base that you should have beat Jacksonville. You're going to come back and win this game. Bo Nix, okay, he's playing okay. Surtain out. Raiders can, as you mentioned with Brock, they can get going here. Geno's coming off 4 touchdowns. They got to get the deep ball going here. But I'm expecting better tackling, and there better be a great effort in this game.
There's going to be some opportunities. If we line up in a situation at the end of the football game with the ability to win the game, we got to finish the play. We talk about complementary football on time. It's about fundamentals. Let's tackle some guys.
For Eric Allen, I'm JT. Thanks, everyone, from Silver and Black Productions. Tough loss, but a short week here at headquarters, and we'll be here for you. Thanks for watching Raiders Roundtable.